Aloha, my name is Mailani Bio, and although I've been a local artist here in Hawaii and throughout the world for the past, 20 years, I've also been a student of Lomi Lomi since I was 7 years old. And it first began when I was a little girl, and traditionally in all families, there's a practitioner of Lomi, someone who Lomis everyone, someone who makes the la'au lapa'au or has knowledge of it and shares that knowledge with the family. And when I was young, myself, my brother, and my sister, we used to walk on my dad when he would come home from work, because he's always had physically demanding jobs and a physically demanding work ethic. And being the oldest, I felt like I wanted to have fun and walk up and down my dad's back because it felt like we were surfing. And as I got older, it was also a want of mine to help relieve any pain from my father. That was just the want, an innocent want a child has to help their parents and help their parents make their lives easier. So growing up, me and my sister, we would take care of my father. We would lomi him and press his feet, press his back, press his shoulders, press his paw. As I got older, where I went to high school in Marino, junior, senior year, there were requirements for graduation. Requirements where you had to choose a topic and study upon it, have a thesis, do a presentation, even seek out a mentor. And my choice for this project was Lomi. I just thought, hey, why not? I could do something Hawaiian and focus on our culture, focus on the practices of our culture. And that was very, very appealing to me. I've always been passionate about Hawaiian culture, music, history, language, all the arts. And so at that time in high school, there was a man named Pete Herring. Sadly, he's passed on. He passed a few years ago. He was Marino's assistant coach, groundskeeper. He was a trainer. And the thing that he was more notably known was that he would lomi the athletes. So before the games, after the games, he would tape ankles, and he helped heal a lot of athletes and their injuries. And I was aware of that. I was very observant of Uncle Pete. I just called him Uncle Pete. I mean, he even drove Marino's school vans to the field trips. He did a lot for Marino schools. But I went into his office one day and I said, Uncle Pete, I need a mentor for my project, and I want to do a project on Lomi. And I'll never forget how he turned around and he looked at me with his big Hawaiian eyes, and he said, okay. And we talked a little bit about his background. I didn't really have many questions for him in the beginning. I didn't really know what to ask. For me, even though I knew Lomi was a spiritual thing, I mean, most things in Hawaiian culture all things in Hawaiian culture is spiritual. For me, I really wanted to connect to that spirituality in a deeper way than what I already knew of. And so we spent some time talking story, and Uncle Pete, he had this way of touching you. And he used to also tell me that he would work on people, and every time he's finished working on people, the skin on his hands would start to peel and die off and fall off, and then it starts off brand new again. And anytime he works on somebody, really works on someone, same thing, the skin would peel off. And I still remember when he said, Mailani, come. And he said, give me your hand. And I gave him my hand. And he said, you feel that? And just chicken skin kind things, things I can't really put into words. But it was from that moment on that I knew that Lomi wasn't just gonna be a project for me. It wasn't just gonna be where I only did Lomi for my family. I wanted to take it further. And from this project, he actually gave me a paper application to go to Auntie Margaret Machado's School of Lomi in Ke'e, in Napo'opo'o, in Kona, on Hawaii Island. At the time, even though the internet was around, people were pretty much just emailing each other when the internet just first came about. And Auntie Margaret, she didn't have a website. She didn't have a website up. She also never advertised traditionally on the radio or the newspapers. So if you knew about Auntie Margaret's School of Lomi Lomi, it means that you heard about it through word of mouth. I mean, how cool is that? To be able to go to learn Lomi in KA, right across the ocean at an old house, you know, in this very old Hawaiian fishing town. And so, of course, I jumped at the chance of that. He told me, you're gonna go to this school and you can list my name as a reference, but I went to Auntie Margaret's when I was young, in my younger days. And so I was like, wow, cool. They didn't even have a telephone, so I couldn't even call in and say, aloha, you know, please send me more information about your school. I would really like to apply. No, it was snail mail. And so I applied for Auntie Margaret's School of Lomi Lomi my senior year of high school in 1998. And believe it or not, it took me a year and a half to get in. The waiting list was that long because Auntie Margaret, she didn't accept more than 14 students at a time. And that's how long I had to wait to get into her class. So I did my first year of college over at UH Manoa, and I did summer school. You know, I was just working at my credits while I was waiting to get into Auntie Margaret's school. And fall semester of 1999, my mom and my dad, they packed me up. We went out to Kona, we flew out to Kona, and we took a car all the way down to KA. My mom and dad helped me pitch my tent, and you know, we got some groceries and some things to make it communal, because it was communal living and communal eating. Everyone shared food and stuff. But I'll never forget, you know, me and my parents, we swam out in KA after the tent was pitched and enjoyed the sunset together. And then my mom and dad kissed me goodbye. They said, "Okay, we love you." And I lived in KA for a couple of months. I'll never forget my Uncle Phil Flores though. Uncle Phil and Auntie Carol. They're dear friends and ohana from Kahalu'u. And they have a ranch in Ka'u. And my uncle also lent me his truck so that I could have something to go holo holo to wash my clothes or get groceries or, you know, get into the town if I ever needed a car, because KA is like all the way down from the main road. And there's no stores close by. There's no electricity. Everything is gas stove or generator down there. So it was really, really, really nice of him. Really, really nice of Uncle and Auntie Flores. But anyhow, so I spent some time there, and even though Auntie Margaret was kupuna by that time, and her hands were pretty bust up from the arthritis, they're arthritic, she did a few times get up and show me how to work on the sciatic, how to stretch the hips, how to do things that she knew at the back of her hand in terms of taking care of someone with extreme pain, excruciating pain. I'll never forget how she always says, "I'm not the healer. God heals, but I'm not the healer." And we prayed every morning, we sang every morning, and we prayed every evening after classes pau, and we closed with a prayer. So that was very unique to me, and that was a new kind of learning where we prayed at the beginning of the morning, at the beginning of class, and we prayed at the end of class. We closed our class with prayer, and that was just beautiful. I'll never forget that. That was awesome. Of course, I had my ukulele with me, and I would sing to Auntie every day. I sang a lot and tried to write a lot of songs while I was there too. But anyhow, I came back home, and I went to the Lomi shop at Winter Mall, and I asked if I could finish my apprenticeship hours there. Ka'uhane Lee, who's the owner of the Lomi shop, said, yeah, baby girl, we'd love to have you. Of course, I had to sit for an interview and talk story and get to know one another. And Uncle Mo was there too, Uncle Mo Kiale, and he had a specialty called Lomiatsu. He did a little bit Lomi Lomi and Shiatsu too. He's really, really wonderful. Wonderful man, wonderful Hawaiian man. And Uncle Mo, gosh, you know, he played music every Tuesday, Thursday, and he worked at the Lomi shop Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So You know, even with Uncle Mo and all of his accolades, I saw that he also never really stopped working. He always had a passion for life and amazing stories. People used to come into the Lomi shop just to talk story to Uncle Mo, just to say hi, just to sit with him and listen to the stories of his days with Sons of Hawaii, his days as, you know, a young Hawaiian man traveling all over the world, playing and sharing Hawaiian music. I also met my Lomi sister, Kamakani Thompson there, which was awesome. And also Auntie P.E. Lani Wright. I've always called her Auntie P.E., even though she's just like a few years older than me, but I always called her Auntie. She had a very motherly way of loving everyone that she would Lomi, everyone that worked at the Lomi shop. And she always took care of me in such a mom way. You know, she's like almost like my Lomi mama. But I met a lot of wonderful, wonderful people there. Also, Keola Chan, who's also a musician, met him there at the Lomi shop too. So a lot of my younger years of doing Lomi outside of my ohana began at the Lomi shop. You know, learning how to do what I loved doing and a little bit of business. I learned a lot of different business skills there too, which is important to have no matter what you do in life, in the world. So I worked there for about 3 years, best years of my life. And I even worked at the Hyatt as well. There was a small little Lomi shop at the Hyatt Hotel, Hyatt Regency in Waikiki. Met a lot of different people, wonderful. A lot of people who had, you know, pain, different kinds of pain, and not just physical pain. A lot of people with emotional pain, you know, mental pain as well. So growing up in that environment and being a vessel to help people with their journeys in life, I think is something that I've always been passionate about without knowing it. As a musician, a singer, a songwriter, you know, I write songs and I sing them, and I try to free people with, you know, whatever's ailing them. And Lomi for me is similar to that, but at a much, much deeper level. So after I was licensed, I moved into Waikiki, and I worked at the Hilton for a bunch of years. I worked at the Hilton about 6 years. I had to stop for a little while because I was hapai with my daughter, Ha'e. And when she was of age, like when she was about 3 years old, then I decided to go back to massaging in Waikiki again. So I went back to the Hilton, and then I moved over to the Moanalani Spa, and that was a beautiful experience. Working at a hotel like the Moana was very special to me. There's so much history there. A lot of my ancestors worked there, danced there under the big tree, sang there, performed there, and helped visitors that fall in love with Hawaii every time they come here. We're there at the Moana. So to be there and work in the same way, in the same light, was very, very special to me. So I was there for a bunch of years. So collectively, I have about 10 years of working in Waikiki and doing hotel spa massage therapy. And that's very, it's very special, it's very specific. But I would be very busy because people who come to Hawaii and stay in these nice hotels, they actually really want Lomi Lomi. They really want to be able to experience something cultural and deeper than they would anywhere else. Even if they stay in grand hotels around the world, when they come to Hawaii, they look for Lomi Lomi practitioners because they want to experience that. I've done 3 years at a Kailua physical therapy clinic, which was interesting and cool as well. You know, you're working with a lot of workers' comp patients, people who've gotten injured on the job. You know, lots of knee surgeries, lots of sciatic. And I've also done a bunch of years doing house calls, which I just can't do anymore. Those were some fun young days. But currently I have a small place in Kaneohe that I practice Lomi Lomi out of. And of course for my ohana, there's always Lomi Lomi to be shared and taught. But with these years and with the times, it's been my decision to start sharing what's been taught to me on this format. And it's been a decision that I've been cautious of. Also a decision that my husband and myself have agreed to, and also a decision that my family is supportive of. And so I've been praying about it for a long time, and it's just time for me to share who our active practitioners are in our community and how they're helping the world heal through Lomi Lomi. Not everyone can afford going to the spa or getting a massage. I do believe in health and taking care of your health, regular exercise, adequate water intake, eating nutritiously, and meditation and prayer. I really believe, and I've always believed in living a healthy life. My mom, for crying out loud, while growing up, my mom, she always made sure that we ate fruit in the morning and we had cardio daily. My mom wasn't crazy about it, but she was an avid supporter of having good health and living a long, fruitful life so that you can serve others. And you're not gonna be good to anyone if you're not healthy yourself. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is to focus on health, and because not everyone can afford getting a massage. If you have someone in your family, or if you have an ohana, if you have a member of your ohana learn Lomi Lomi, then you're all good. That's how the Hawaiians have been. There's always someone whose knowledge and expertise is in a certain area of focus. And families traditionally, everybody had a Lomi Lomi practitioner or someone that did Lomi Lomi. Everyone has a diver, everyone has a fisherman, everyone has a musician, everyone has a martial artist or a practitioner of lua. Traditionally, every Hawaiian family, they had their experts. There's somebody who's an expert of lei making or gardening or mahi'ai and growing the right foods to eat. And my area of focus has been in music, Hawaiian language, culture, and in Lomi Lomi, and a little bit of la'au lapa'au. So I say to you, become a student of Lomi Lomi. Learn Lomi Lomi. Learn some of these techniques, and you'll be able to serve others in a deeper way and in ways that are more than what you're doing right now currently. So take these tutorials, learn some Hawaiian language, learn some Hawaiian mana'o, learn some of these techniques and serve others. Serve your community, serve your family, serve your ohana. If you're a parent and you have keikis, my daughter, she's almost taller than me, she's only 11. She'll wake up at night crying because she'll have growing pains. And so because of what I've been practicing and doing for a long time, I'm able to help her. My father, he has sciatica every now and then. And because of what I've been taught, I'm able to help him. And I want him to not be in pain. I want my daughter to not be in pain. The people that I love mean so much to me. And I've also learned through Lomi Lomi that love can transfer to people that you don't even know, to complete strangers. And that's what makes the world open. That's what makes the world safe. Aloha.